What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another Friday night live stream. Thought I would start the stream out here by the pond. I did fire up the pond, and sorry I'm 5 minutes late. I actually lost track of time. I was working on the website. Um, HSP said, "Sorry, won't be able to make tonight's stream. I have a family function." No problem, HSP. Hope you have a good family function. Chevy Fish, Von Yunzer, Sue Ann, Mrs. Millhead. Good to see everybody here so far. Fish and Shrimp by Rich. Matt F. Good to see you. He said, so how many of us have ordered the 614 tabs? That's the title of tonight's stream because the tabs are here. And hopefully you guys can hear me. I don't know how well the microphone's working, being that there's water running, the AC's running, the pond's up and running, and it's green water right now, which is great for fry. And typically I usually use guppies in this pond each year. I just want to show you guys it's up and running. I think I'm going to try floating some planters in it this year. Think about getting those plastic windowsill pots, like those rectangular ones, and letting it float. I might have to put styrofoam on it, and then planting some floats, I can't talk. Floating some plants in there. I know it's dark. I'm heading to the computer room, but let me get you guys in here. Let me get you in the holder so I can get in the chat. The Vienna guppies are doing good. The Pleco babies that are in there that I said I found, they are super red Plecos. They're getting bigger. It seems like by the day, and I've counted 4 or 5 of them total that I can at least see at once. There could be more, but there's probably about 5. I actually see 2 of them right now. But yep, let me get the chat going and see where we're at. Oh my gosh. Live chat. Okay. All right, guys. So the tabs. Let me grab a bottle. The initial run I got, it's like 2 cases worth, so it's around 24 bottles. They're unlabeled. They come in a white bottle, and that's because I needed the bottles here so I can measure them, so that way I can make labels. So the initial run of these are going shipped just like this. There's no labels. It's 60 tabs, 60 root tabs, and right now I'm doing like an intro price, which is just for this first case of $14.99 for 60 tabs. It's a really, really good deal. The regular price after this first case runs out will be, I think, $19.99 for 60. An error has occurred. Playback ID. What is going on with my stream? Let me refresh. I don't know. I can't see the stream right now. I'm not sure what's going on. Click this link. An error has occurred. Well, great. Hopefully maybe the chat will still work. Just Shrimp Granny, good to see you, says, we see and hear you fine. Awesome. Matt says it skipped for a second, but you came back. Yeah, for some reason on my computer, it says there's an error has occurred and it's just a gray screen. Whatever. I can see it's still working on my phone, so we'll just keep rolling with it. Hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully everything's going good. But so yeah, the tabs are finally here, and to catch you guys up, I've been working on a formula for months, and you guys know, like through the live streams, I've been working on it, tweaking on it, and I just couldn't get it down to where I wanted it. So I reached out to my fertilizer manufacturer, and it turns out they make root tabs already, and with their insight, I was able to get these root tabs made. And the main things that I was not including, which I'll admit, I thought was not a necessity was the topsoil. They add clay for iron-rich clay, and then the topsoil. And I always thought topsoil and the root tab was just a filler, and it wasn't needed. And it turns out it's actually very beneficial. So this is like a really good formula. I'm really excited, and I think I might try to do a video. It's really hard to do video on like plant growth with um, root tabs, because it does take a couple weeks for the root tabs to really start feeding those root feeding plants. But this tank will be awesome for them because it's got a lot of root feeding plants in it. Mrs. Metalhead Prime with the $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Says, getting a 55 tomorrow for Pickle, Freya, and Toothless. Pickle won't stop hurting himself because he has derp syndrome. So Mrs. Metalhead is talking about axolotls, and Freya and Pickle are the two axolotls I used to have. But man, 55, that's going to be a huge tank for him. That's a huge tank for them. I honestly, like, that's a really tall tank. They don't need a really tall tank, but it's a good footprint. A 4-foot long footprint is a good tank for them. I see a lot of things, just in case, I'm sure you've done your research and stuff, but a lot of people will do tubs with axolotls. I've seen them, like, you buy, like, the $40, I'm not sure how big they are, maybe 40 gallons or 50 gallons from like Tractor Supply Company. It's just like a feeding trough type thing. I think is what it's sold as. I've seen a lot of people do those. Oh no, you're not crashing my live stream. Charlotte's talking. But thanks so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Yeah, so really, this live stream was about root tabs, and I pretty much said what I wanted to say about them already. Check them out on the website, 614fish.com, and $14.99, and you can still use your discount on top of that. So grab them while you can. And I know I had a couple people buy a couple bottles of them already, so that's pretty cool. Matt F with the $29.99 super chat. Thanks so much. You know why. I know why. I think I know why. But thank you so much for the super chat. I super appreciate it. Fish and Floral ordered, waiting on my 2 bottles to get here. Awesome. So you were one of the people that ordered 2 of them. But Matt and Mrs. Metalhead, thank you so much for the super chats. I feel like I'm about to yawn, but I can't do that. It's Friday night. I gotta get up early tomorrow. Tomorrow is D-Day for me to get not only my car running or off the property at work, because they're about to fence in part of the property to start construction on our new shop. And my car is in that area that's about to be fenced in, so I gotta get it out there. So I either need to get my car to my house or do the complete engine swap on it tomorrow and get it running. I'm going to do my best to get up as early as possible and get to work. And if I get there early, I'm going to try to get the motor swap tomorrow and knock that out. And then the BMW that's here that I've been working on, I'm still waiting on a part to show up. I thought it was going to be here yesterday. It didn't show up, so I thought it'd be here today. Didn't show up. And then tracking says it'll be here tomorrow by end of day. So tomorrow's going to be a busy day, probably, and Sunday. All right. And then fish, so the reason I was late, I was messing around with the website. I got rid of the fish categories by like species, how there was like tetras, cichlids. It's all just under one category, and now it's only fish that I'm trying to sell and no longer keep, because what I'm going to do is start rotating and doing less and less fish sales unless it's something I'm breeding personally. So no more really importing fish or not really importing, but wholesale fish, unless it's locally bred or it's I bred it out in the fish room. So a lot of those fish that are on there I've had for well over a year now. The Harlequin rasboras and those diamond tetras have been out there for a long time. So I might end up doing a fish sale just to free up tank space. But what I want to do is really start focusing more and more on plants. I think messing with these root tabs have really got me back into the plants, and that's the route I kind of want to go. And I want to build a plant rack system. So I built fish racks, 3 different rack systems of different kinds. Um, I want to do one specifically for plants, and I have ideas of what I want to do and stuff that I've learned. So the fry rack system is powered by shop lights, and plants grow under there. But the problem I'm having is it's way too powerful, and there's 2 or 3 reasons of what's going on with that. The first reason is it's a shop light. It's very powerful. The second reason is shop lights are really close to the water level. They only sit this far above the water. And the third thing is the water is only maybe 5 to 6 inches deep. It's very shallow. And what's happening is all of the plants, they grow, but they're growing super compact to where the dwarf hairgrass is extra dwarf. I mean, it's tiny. And I'd rather back that out to lower light to get, I still want everything converted to submerged grown, but I'd rather have lower light to where the grass is a little bit taller because it's reaching for the light. So that way when it gets to the next owner's house, whoever buys it, if they have highlight, it'll shrink on them. They can see that, but I don't want to send it's such high powered light that the dwarf hairgrass is like this big. It's like little. It looks like hairs. I was gonna say hairs, and it's called dwarf hairgrass. I mean, it's tiny. So I feel bad trying to send that out, and that's just because it's overpowered. So I want to do a plant system that will be fed off of my dehumidifier, because the dehumidifier water has ammonia in it, so the plants will uptake that super quickly because they uptake ammonia first before they go after nitrates. So I want the dehumidifier to feed this rack system for the water top off. It'll just constantly feed it, which during the summer that dehumidifier pulls out somewhere around 2 gallons of water a day out of the air. So I just want that to just go right back into that system. And I think what I want to do is, instead of doing tanks, I want to do tubs. I want to do shallow tubs that I might even put on like a drawer system. So that way, everything stays compact to the wall. But then I can pull the drawers out and they'll slide out to where I can either replant or pull plants to sell, and just go along with that. And then I'll probably have fish in each bin. We'll just call them bins, to keep algae down, stuff like that. So I don't know if I'll do guppies, because guppies do really well at eating everything. So maybe I'll do guppies, or I'll just throw my ram's horns in there and let them keep everything clean. But Von Yinzer says, I have that Fluval 3.0 at 50%, still have a half a tank to escape. Yeah, so that's Von Yinzer. So this would be a perfect point, is that this fry rack, I can't dim these lights, so I know I'm overpowering it. But the problem is I can't dim it. And before anybody says put a dimmer on it, I tried. I even bought this nice plug-in dimmer where it just plugs right into the outlet. Your shop lights plug into it. These shop lights aren't dimmable. I know that they sell dimmable LED lighting out there, like shop lights. The stuff I have is not dimmable. It's all or nothing. But that's where the Fluvals come in handy. So I think what I'll probably do is I'll probably pick up some Aqua Skies, being that the lights will be super close to the plants. A 3.0 would be way overkill. I mean, I guess I could even use Stingrays, but I like the fact that with the Aqua Skies, I can have it on the sunrise sunset pattern. Matt F said, I had the same problem with doing so. I use removable tint over my shop lights. Works awesome. I didn't think about that. I guess I could just put a tint film over it to help reduce the output. So what sucks is I like the light. I like the look of the light. Like the brightness is great. It's just way too much par. It's just too intense. And I mean everything grows fine. It's just too much for the door pear grass. It's you have low, moderate, or medium, high light. This is like extremely high light, and the one thing I could do is time the lights to run a shorter amount of time during the day, but then I don't really get to enjoy the fry rack. So that's where I'm kind of at with that. Is I could compensate by running the lights less, but then I don't get to see the fish. So that's kind of not what I want to do. Jim Sheasley with a $3 super chat didn't say anything, just dropped $3 towards the super chats. Thank you so much, Jim. I appreciate it. And I think I saw you mention about the OFR cookout. I'm going to do my best to go up there, so hopefully I'll get to see some of you at the OFR cookout next month. Von Yenzer said you would have to put a dimmer that is compatible with LED lights on it. A normal dimmer will not work with LED lights. Okay. Maybe that's the problem I have. Maybe the dimmer I bought is not for LEDs. I've seen people use black electrical tape to cover up the light in strips to block out 50% or more. That's a good idea, because then I still get the brightness to view the fish, but I'm cutting out, half of it. That's a good idea. Because I'm afraid if I tint it, it's going to change. If I tint it, it's going to reduce the light, which is what I need. It's going to reduce the output, but I don't want to reduce the color. Mrs. Millhead said, don't remember the plants you sold us for the Lottles, but I'm going to need a few more. Uh-oh, did they destroy them? Do you have some? Yes, I sold, what did I sell you? I sold you Nubius. Probably Barterai. Marky B Fish Tank says, hi there all from the UK. Marky, good to see you. And welcome to the live stream. I can't seem to be able to link the Stevens online store, 614fish.com. Is it just me? At Just Shrimp Granny. Well, I'm sure I can link it, but I'm not sure why you wouldn't be able to. Did it work? Yeah. I'm going to grab the link to the root tabs if anybody's interested in those. And it says it's on sale because I am doing that introductory sale. I'm going to post a link to the tabs directly. And if you're subscribed to the email list, you would get an email about it, which, that's where everybody, I think, got all the orders so far this week. Has come from that. Matt F says, Haley wants to know if you're going to pick her up for the cookout. What's funny about that, Matt, is I was talking to Haley the other day, and I was talking about, man, I got to work on my car, this BMW. I need to work on my boat. I haven't touched the boat in a year and a half. I didn't touch it all last year. And I was just too busy with work. And I just got an online order at the store. So whoever just placed an order, thank you so much. I didn't take time and enjoy the boat last year. So that really sucks. So this year I want to get the boat out. I still have a bunch of stuff that I bought from a year and a half ago. So 2 seasons ago I bought a new ladder for it, some new high-end speakers, and some other little odds and ends just to kind of make things better. And I never got around to doing that stuff. So I want to spend some time on that. But goal is for this weekend I gotta get the BMW gone so that way I can free up my driveway. And I gotta get my Civic running, so that's a goal. And my buddy, my friend Mikey at work, he's been busting my butt about getting the Civic running, and that is a priority. I just Just gotta get there and get it done as soon as I get this BMW done, because with my truck in the driveway and the BMW, the BMW doesn't run. If the BMW ran, it wouldn't be a problem. I can move it. It doesn't run, so I can't get the car into my garage until that BMW is fixed. So hopefully the BMW is fixed this weekend, and maybe, fingers crossed, the Civic will be running, and we'll see. Shady Fish says, so sorry, Steve, in trouble all day with my Wi-Fi. It's no problem. No problem at all. So anyways, sorry, Matt, Squirrel, back to that. I was telling Haley about, I want to get the boat running, and I'm like, man, it'd be sweet if I could take the boat out Sunday. And she said, come pick me up, because she wants to go on the boat. I was like, oh, so you want me to come pick you up for the boat? And I'm sure you'll probably want me here to come pick you up for the OFR cookout. And she said no for the OFR cookout. So I'm sure that will change. She'll want a ride to the OFR cookout. And Jellyfish says, squirrel. Squirrel. Drinking word tonight, and this is just water. I'm going to keep it going from OFR, and it's going to be little. If anybody's doing the drinking word game, the word here will be little. So if you want to get yourself a little bottle of some little root tabs, go to 614fish.com. I'm trying to think what else. Anything new, exciting? Nothing crazy. This week went by really quick, and it got hot here this week. Oh man, it was actually really nice. Early in the week, it was like 70s, and then it was like, all right, here's 70 degrees. Let's go to 88 degrees and humid. And I know that ever since I got home tonight, my AC's been running nonstop, so that's always fun with the electricity bill. It's just been humid, and I did lawn work when I got home from work tonight. So, lawn work is cutting the grass, edging the sidewalks, and like leaf blowing the sidewalks of crap off of it. That's my lawn work. I'm not a yard person. And I remember walking into the fish room, which it was 83 degrees, and thinking how nice it was in there, because there was no humidity. With the dehumidifier, that room stays around 40%, so it's comfortable for sure, compared to outside where it was probably the same temperature when I got done cutting grass, probably low 80s, but the humidity was high. And it just sucks. I hate humidity. If it was 80 all year long with 40% humidity, it'd be awesome. But, alright. How's everybody else's week going? If you have any questions, shoot me a question. Tagging me. Tag my name so that way I can see it. The chat's not updating. Let me make sure it's updating on my phone. I think we're good. Okay. Yeah, so pond. Alright, so I did put some fish in the pond. I put some of the 614. I don't have a name for them. It's that guppy line I was kind of working on. I put some of them out there. I was going to originally put Vienna guppies out there, but I'm like, let's not dump a bunch of Viennas in there until I know the pond's going to work. Like, make sure there's nothing crazy going on. Like, because it's held water over winter. And to get it ready, all I did was turn the filter on. And the filter is just lava rock, which houses the bacteria. So I'm assuming, being that water's been in it the whole winter, that there's enough beneficial bacteria in there for guppies. And being that and the other reason I wanted to jump on it was I've been noticing a lot of mosquito larvae. So I don't want mosquitoes in my yard. So as soon as I saw that that thing was booming with mosquito larvae, which means the water is perfectly good for fish, I put a bunch of the guppies in there. It was really hot today. Typically when it's really hot, they stay low in the water. I don't see them. So I haven't seen them yet today. So I don't know. Hopefully they're doing okay. I just put them in there. Let's see, today's Friday, maybe Wednesday? Tuesday or Wednesday. I put them in there this week. So hopefully they're doing good. Mrs. Mellhead said, did you see my comment about the plants? Yes. Well, I saw that you say you need some, and I did comment about did the axolotls destroy them? But no, I did answer they're Anubias, is the plants I sold you. Maybe Crypts. Did you buy 2 plants or 1? If you bought 1 plant, it was Anubias. If you bought 2 different kinds, it was Anubias and Crypts, because that's what I was running with them. Jess Shrimp says, sorry, Chevy, I was washing gravel and went in for a minute. Matt F said, I got an Oscar, a parrot, and a panda goldfish. Outside? Or inside? Are they outside? So speaking of ponds, I had that second pond that when I originally set up the first pond, I bought 2 of them. I only set up the 1. So now I'm thinking about setting up the second one right next to it, and somehow the pumps, I mean, it will work for 2, but running 1 pump doing both ponds, so I would like, I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. I got to get creative. So, I mean, I could tie, like, you know, I could have a drain line from each pond go to a pump, and then that, you know, a 2 into 1, and that pump goes 1 into 2 back to each pond. But I thought about trying to connect both ponds together and make 1 water volume, which would be pretty sweet. So it'd be, you know, up to 1,000 gallons, because I believe they're 500 gallons a piece. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet, though. I'm not sure. I gotta figure it out. Get a 4-inch bulkhead and just connect them with bulkheads. Zen Ginger, good to see you. And the first question I see from you says, wait, you don't have those 3 fish together, do you? And Matt said, no. Yeah, an Oscar with a panda goldfish probably wouldn't be a good mix. They are inside. Matt, do you do any outdoor fish tubs or ponds? If you don't, I'd recommend doing it, especially with them guppies that you guys. I see you got a ton of guppies now. If you want a ton more, throw them outside. They do really well. Zen Ginger, drop the link to become a member. Thank you so much. Mr. Melhead says, Cichlids destroyed one Amazon sword. The bigger sword is doing great in the Predator tank. Yeah, cichlids are, they like to eat plants or destroy them. And I just got more Amazons in yesterday, and that's what, I don't know if it shows. Let me see if I can refresh my stream now. Please work. I've checked. Hang on. Nope, I still can't watch my own stream. Anyways, I don't know if you can tell, but I think there's like six new swords. It's the lighter green. If it looks lighter green on the stream, I can't tell if it does or not. But they're over here. So those are still immersed grown. I just got them, so I gotta let them convert. I've got more Crypt Wendetti Reds, which they're not in this tank. They're out in the fry rack. And some Dwarf Hairgrass. And what else? There was something else. Nubius Nana. So if anybody wants a Nubius Nana, I only got 6 of them in. If you can tell, there's a theme. The plants are orders of multiples of 6. So I just ordered 6 of this, 6 of that. So if anybody's looking for Nana, I have 6 of them. Nana sells pretty quickly. Matt said, no, but I've been considering. I mean, a trash can works for a fish pond. You can go Menards and get one of those like 30-gallon trash cans for like $10. Fill it with water. Mr. Miller said, I'm not Mrs. Did I say Mrs.? I didn't mean to say Mrs. I'm pretty sure I said Mr. And my slurring probably made it sound like Mrs. But I definitely knew it was you. If I ever run across a tub on Facebook, I will. Also, the first year I did it, I used an inflatable pool. It was like a kiddie pool. I think it was like 3 feet by 5 feet, and you just literally blew it up. I think I got it for like $20 at, I think it was also Menards on sale. And that's what I used the first year. But now I went to the more like rigid frame pools. Jess said, okay, gotta get this tank up. Back to lurking. Love y'all. Jess, good to see you in here. Pothos. Am I spelling that right? Pothos. I don't have pothos, but pothos is a plant. Pothos will be, that's a plant that you can't have like in your water because I believe it's poisonous, but you let the roots grow in the water. And the roots are what clean the water for you. Matt said, Mister, you could be Mrs. Just add her clothes. Matt said, I live on the edge of town, lots of wild animals. Whenever I do, I will likely need to go to my chicken enclosure to keep it from wild animals. Yeah, I guess you could try getting like a net and putting a net over it. I am JC says, hey Stephen, hope all is well. Have you ever made a 3D background with foam and cement? Yes, I have. Just finished carving and not sure whether cemented or dry lock. Also, is acrylic paint aquarium safe? Acrylic paint is aquarium safe. And I'll show you my 3D backgrounds. I don't know why I said backgrounds. I've only ever made one background, but I made decoration as well. So I'll show you the decoration first. This was foam and cement. And flip. So this rock, I don't know how well it is. I kind of made like a cave. So this is actually styrofoam blocks. And I'll kind of explain it. And you might be able to see. It was square blocks. So like square, this is kind of square, that was a square. And then I just carved it out. I wanted a little bit of a cave theme with a little bit of an overhang. I just carved it out and then I cemented it. And the only issue I had with this was it wanted to float because the styrofoam has so much buoyancy to it. So I ended up having to do is as I cemented everything, as I flipped, once it was dry, I flipped it over and I actually took it outside. I took a blowtorch and I basically melted out all the styrofoam. And so now this is kind of like a shell. I'm sure there's still some styrofoam in there that I couldn't get out. And then what I did is I poked a little hole in the top so that way the air bubbles will go out. But this is kind of like a shell. And so I made that. And then we're going to go over here. And this tank's got a ton of algae on it right now. But this background, which might be hard, this is kind of what got me going in this was the first fish thing I ever did. So this was the only tank I had. I didn't have a fish room. This was pre-fish room. It's really hard to see, but I wanted like a cobblestone look. And this is a sand waterfall. I know the glare sucks. I guess the angle is kind of hard. This is like a ledge. And you can see bubbles. Jake's in the way. The bubbles coming out, that's actually a PVC pipe, and it goes down through the styrofoam. Sorry, I know the algae's gross. There's the inlet, and then I made this like bowl. So this is also concrete, and this is normally filled with sand, but the goldfish have sucked all the sand out and spit it all over. So yeah. And then, you know, obviously with air, it would suck it up. What happened was a snail ended up going up into the pipe and died. And, like, it still pulls, like, some water, but the suction is not good enough for the sand waterfall to work. And the only way to fix it is to basically almost like a pipe cleaner and try to get that snail out. I've had to do it a couple times. It just sucks. But now with the goldfish, if I try to do the sand waterfall, they end up killing the waterfall after like a week because they sift the sand so much. And I did see a question about pH on it. Um, so to be honest, when I built the sand waterfall background, I didn't know anything about. I was not a hobbyist. That I was a fish keeper, but not like a hobbyist. So I didn't know it was going to raise the water hardness or change my pH. So I have no idea what it changed it to. And I had cichlids at the time; they did fine. I didn't like pre-soak the concrete, so it does change parameters. And the reason I know that is when I did that cave, I was a hobbyist, and I knew that adding concrete is going to change the hardness, and it made the water super hard for months. Um, I'm trying to think what was in that tank originally. I think it's always been guppies and shrimp. So both of those do fine with it. And to be honest, I don't remember about pH. I can't tell you what the pH did. I just know hardness skyrocketed, and I think for the first month I was just doing like 50% water changes often to keep the hardness like under control. And now looking back, it probably wouldn't have been a problem. I should have done is just put plants in there. That was pre me even knowing about live plants. That tank originally had fake plants in it when I first set it up. Um, so if I would have had live plants, they probably would have really enjoyed the extra hardness in the water. But you said that it looked like your background. So for anybody watching, um, the 3D background I used like the pink styrofoam board, and then the cave I used the white styrofoam that I use like in shipping fish boxes. I guess they both work. The white stuff's way easier to like carve and stuff, but it's very crumbly. It's very messy, super messy. And with the pink stuff, I didn't have like a hot knife or anything. I literally used a razor blade. I feel like I got something in my eye. It's burning now. I feel like I got salt in it. I'm looking down. I see my bag of salt. Like I don't know if I touched something, but anyways, I only used a knife. So the pink stuff was nice because it didn't really make a mess. The white foam makes a heck of a mess, but I ended up using a hot knife and made quick work with it. The concrete I use, it's not like regular concrete. I'm sure you can use regular concrete, but the stuff I used is I want to say it said like acrylic concrete. It was made by Quikrete. It comes in a tub. I have it out in the garage actually, and it's just a straight powder. You add water to it. You make it look like a Frosty from Wendy's. And originally I started with like a paintbrush, and then I realized it's just easier to. I had a rubber glove. I would just slap the stuff on the foam. You let it dry. It's really thin, so you do a couple more layers, and then, like I said, I was having problems with buoyancy, and I end up melting the styrofoam out, and they end up kind of being hollow. The 3D background, I did not melt it out, and the problem with that one is I was like, man, this thing. You'd be surprised at how buoyant styrofoam is. So this background, I swear that thing's probably 30 pounds. It's heavy. It's really, really heavy. And like, it's like, oh man, this thing's heavy. And I just stuck it against the back. I filled up the tank. I come back and the thing's jammed against the top of the bracing of the 75-gallon. It was floating. Even though it was like 30 pounds, that sucker was floating. And like, there was so much buoyancy to it that I couldn't really force it down. I had drained the tank back down, and then I siliconed it to the glass. So if that silicone ever would let loose, that thing's going to shoot up. But it's been years now, and it's still there. Silicone's really good stuff. Okay. Mr. Mellowhead said I don't fit her in her clothes. Okay, Zen says, I find it amusing that we Americans call it pothos, but the Australians resistant call it pothos. Sorry, random thought. I guess I haven't noticed anybody from overseas say it before. Oh man, my chat just jumped. Hang on. Let me get back to where I was. Matt says, that looks good. I'm too scared to do that stuff. I suck at manufacturing. So that's kind of what, that sand waterfall is really what got me towards the hobby. I think I was looking at like fish tank decorations on YouTube, and I don't even know if I was looking at decorations. I think it was like a suggested video. I had no interest in it, and it was a waterfall, and I was like, holy cow, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I was trying to explain to somebody what an underwater waterfall was. Like, I should have just said sand waterfall. I'm like, man, it's like an underwater waterfall. You know, and people are like, what the heck are you talking about? And I was showing the video, and they're like, oh, that's sweet, and I made it. And like my family thought it was really cool, my friends. And like from there, I started watching like FishTube. And that was all because of that sand waterfall video. That's what got me going towards the hobby. And I started like learning about a little bit about plants, but then I somehow came across a shrimp video. And once I saw shrimp, that's what really got me into the hobby, was wanting to carry all the different colors of shrimp. And that's how the fish room started, was for shrimp tanks. Globe Gaming says, at SE, hope you're doing well. Any tips for hatching snail eggs with marine salt? So are you talking about nearite snails? So nearite snails are the ones that need marine environment to hatch. And a long time ago, I had a saltwater tank. I ended up putting some nearites in it, but they ended up dying after a few weeks. And I think the problem I had was I took them right out of my freshwater tanks, and I kind of just like chucked them into the saltwater tank. And I think what I should have done was really do a brackish water tank and, you know, kind of ease them towards saltwater. I don't know. I don't know if you're talking about nearites or some other snail, but I was trying to hatch nearite snails because nearites are awesome in freshwater, but they only reproduce in saltwater. I had no way of getting their eggs because all their eggs were always laid not on the glass in my tanks. They were always on driftwood or rocks. And I didn't want to dismantle the tank to get the eggs into saltwater. So I was like, I'll just put them in saltwater and they can do their eggs in there. But I never really went further than putting them into the saltwater tank. It's something I should revisit and try to start breeding them, because nearites are my favorite snail. They do really, really good algae eating work, and they don't reproduce in the fish tank, so they're a really big hit on selling them to people that don't want snails, but they don't want algae. So the best compromise is nearites. You have these snails, and they don't reproduce. The downside to nearites is they lay those hard little eggs randomly throughout the tank, so you do have to see those, but they never hatch. But Globe Gaming, I have not hatched snail eggs with marine salt. Metalhead said, I'm getting pushed down the stairs again. Here comes another black eye from the falling down the stairs. Matt said his wife watched the stream a couple weeks ago. When he got home from work, she beat me saying for telling people that she abuses me. It's pretty funny. IMJC said, yeah, I think if I plugged in the NFT aquaponic tray. After install, I could pull out that extra calcium and magnesium. I got 3 stitches this week from from the razor blade. Yeah, so I ended up using a hot wire, and now I have a hot wire table, which is what I used to make the liners for my fish boxes. But when I made that cave, I bought a hot wire knife, which is just a metal prong with a wire. But the problem was, it was really made just for cutting like straight lines, and it was very flimsy to where I couldn't really get it to do what I wanted. What I really needed was a hot blade versus a wire. Like, I was thinking like a soldering iron, but with a blade that got hot to, like, you know, carve, or a turkey carver. I needed a turkey carver. That's what I needed. But yeah, that background was all done with razors. Okay, I'm catching up. I am JC with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Thanks for all the info, buddy. You've given me more confidence to go ahead and cement it. I'm going to silicone it in. Yeah, you'll be surprised. Like, before you silicone it, you should try floating it, and you'll be surprised at like how heavy something cemented will float with all that styrofoam. But yeah, it's if I could do it, anybody can do it. And yeah, I get it. I'm handy, but this was like pre me being handy in the aquarium stuff. This was just me like, oh, I think this concrete stuff will work, and I'm going to look it up so that way I can tell you guys what I use, because it works. I'm pretty sure it was like vinyl. Yes. So I can't share the screen, but if you search vinyl, where'd it go? Vinyl concrete, it'll pop up, and it's called Vinyl Concrete Patcher. It comes in a yellow tub, and I think there's like different sizes. It came in a 10-pound tub. It says available in gray and white. I used gray, and it's for 10 pounds. It's $8.68, and 10 pounds goes a long way. Just so you guys know, for like $9, that's what you got. Is this a bigger one? What's this? Okay, and then the bigger one is 20 pounds. And alright, so you might want to just buy the 20-pound one. So the 10 pounds was $8. The 20-pound one is $10. It's $2 more for double. So just buy the 20-pound one. You can make multiple decorations or whatever you want to do. But anyways, it was super easy, and you kind of make not putty. You make a frosty consistency and just kind of smear it on the concrete, or on the foam. You let it dry, and it's going to want to kind of run off. That's where the multiple layers builds up. But the first layer, you're just trying to get some of the concrete onto the styrofoam, because then that little bit of concrete will allow the second layer to stick to it really well. And you just kind of build it up, and it's super easy. I actually want to make something new for that 75-gallon using the concrete I still have. And I have a ton of styrofoam, I don't want to say clippings, but extras from cutting the box liners. You know, I might end up with like 3-inch long strips of just random stuff. And like, if it's a big enough piece, I keep it. All the little slivers and stuff I recycle. But the bigger stuff I keep in a box, just in case I need like some sort of filler material. And maybe I'll make something, and that'd be a good video, because I don't think I have a video on when I made that cave. My eye is like really burning. I'm pretty sure I touched something that had salt on it or something, because that's what it feels like. It sucks. Alright, let me get back into chat. But thank you again, JC, for the $5 super chat. I appreciate it. Zen Ginger said, wait, so you can move nearite eggs to brackish water after they're laid? Mine always are on the glass or Anubias leaves, but I thought they had to be laid in salty water with the saline above .018. I don't know. I have no idea if you can move them once they're laid or if they have to be laid. I would assume they have to be laid in salt water. That's why I just put the Neorites into salt water. That didn't work, so maybe in the future I'll do a brackish water tank and put Neorites in it and see at what level of salinity is needed for them to hatch. Because I mean, they sell, like, I bring them in, they sell like hotcakes. They really do. So I would love to be able to just start growing them. I think he means 3-inch short, not 3-inch long. 3-inch little. Little. Remember, the key word tonight is little. 3-inch little. How much of that stuff did you use for a 75-gallon? So that 75 gallons only half. I only did half of it because of that brace. My goal was I was going to do half as that like waterfall background, and so I had top to bottom of a 75 half, but then I also have a bottom plate, which is where I made like the collection bowl for the sand, and I kind of made like, I don't know, kind of like a rock plateau. I'm trying to remember if I might have used 10 pounds, at least 10 pounds. Well, no, I take that back. I had to use at least 10 pounds because I swear that thing was like 30 pounds in weight. Courtney's here. Good to see you, Courtney. So I used at least 10 pounds. I feel like maybe I used, did I buy a 20 pounder? If I bought a 20, I used probably the whole thing. So if it was 20 pounds, I used 20 pounds of it. Maybe I did overkill on the thickness, but I just wanted it to not like chip apart, and it's been good for years now. Zen said, I just know my mud skippers aren't supposed to go above 0.15, so I was told it was 0.0032 for Neorites to reproduce. Do you have Neorites in there? If you don't have Neorites in there, put Neorites in there and see what happens. Unless you already have Neorites in there. But I would definitely put, if you already got brackish, put Neorites in there. And then let me know what happens. Courtney says, spoiling my babies with bloodworms at the moment while listening to the stream. Can't complain about bloodworms. All the fish definitely love some bloodworms. Thank you, whoever just ordered on the website. Appreciate you. Portal said, hello, I think in one of your older videos you purchased L184s. Is that the case? If true, do you still have them? And I just saw Matt said he has one. I begged him to buy it. So the 184s are in this tank behind me, and I've gotten one baby from them. So, yeah. I do have them, and they are technically breeding. Just I only got one baby so far. So hopefully I get more, and unfortunately I also got some Super Reds in there, which were another order. Thank you guys so much. Havana's here. I'm sure you can see Charlotte's head. Come here, Havana. You want on the stream? Here's Havana. Oh, come here too. You want up here? Come here. And Charlotte. The Super Reds are breeding. And so far I got more Super Red babies, which that's to be expected. The bushy nose, they're so prolific that it totally doesn't surprise me. But I really want the 184s to get going because they're super uncommon. I got one baby, and I did mention a few weeks ago that I'm going to sell the one baby. I was going to keep it as my first, baby, but I need to pay for the breeding group. It was an expensive breeding group, so I need to pay for them. So I probably will sell it. And Matt said, as soon as I mentioned it, like, I'm going to sell it, Matt's like, I'll buy it. Like, he didn't ask me. Like, I didn't even say, like, that one baby's going to be $500. He just said, I'd buy it. It's not going to be $500. I'm just, kidding. But Matt has already claimed dibs on the one baby in there. So yeah, hopefully, they'll start doing their thing. And there were eggs that they were sitting on. I just let nature take its course. But I think the next time I catch a cave of eggs, I'm going to pull them and put them in a tumbler. So that way I can rule out. I see a baby super red pleco. The super reds are probably 1/4 inch long. There's the baby 184. I'm sure you. I'll just flip you. Let's look at them. You're going to see some algae. He's right there. He hides in between these two caves. And now you can kind of see him. I know there's algae right here. Sorry, guys. But he actually looks awesome. But that's the baby. He's definitely an inch long now. But he actually he's the darkest color and the brightest white of any of the plecos in here. So I don't know if that will fade as he gets bigger or just get better, but he looks awesome. But yep, that's the baby. JC says, how many tanks do you have? Somewhere around 55 tanks, and I have 2 ponds. I have a plywood pond that I built. There's a video on the channel about building an indoor plywood pond, and I did that before plywood pricing went through the roof, so it was like a super cheap pond. That's in the fish room, and then I have a 500-gallon like pool pond out back. So yeah, somewhere around 55 tanks, between 50 and 60 of different sizes. The biggest tank, well, shoot, the biggest tank that's up and running is a 75-gallon, the one I showed you. I have the 75. I have 3 55s, and these are what's running, and then countless 10 gallons, 20s, 29s. The fry rack are all like little 4-gallon tanks, or maybe a little less than 4 gallons, and there's 11 of those, I think. But as far as bigger tanks, I have 2 tanks that are not set up. One's a 200-gallon cube, and one's a 250-gallon like rectangular acrylic tank. But those are not set up. They're in the garage. Anyways, guys, I am past the 1 hour mark. I want to thank you guys so much for the orders on the website, and I'm going to pull up the software now, so that way when I get off the live stream, I can pack the orders, unless they had like fish in them. If that's the case, then they will go out on Monday or Tuesday. Looks like they're all dry goods. So awesome. So whoever ordered tonight, I will pack your orders right after the live stream. You'll get your tracking numbers. Thank you so much for the super chats. I appreciate you guys. But yeah. So anyways, guys, I was just reading some of the last chats to see if I missed anything. Zen said no Nereids in there, but I might try. You should. And let me know how they do, because I want to know, because I want to breed them. Eventually, I'll get to the point where I just start testing it, start adding some salinity to the water, and wait until I find babies, and then be like, all right, I know at this level, I got babies. But if you can jumpstart that research for me, since you're already at a certain salinity level, then hey, you'll have some babies, and I'll know where to start. Maybe I'll have to get some mud skippers. But anyways, guys, JC says cheaper to build with metal than wood nowadays. Yes, but just so you guys know, if anybody's into metalworking, my uncle owns a steel company, and I was pricing some steel out last week for OFR. Steel pricing is going up, so I can tell you what's going on with that. Everybody's paying outrageous pricing. I don't know if it was Florida or northeastern United States, like Maine or New Hampshire. They're paying well over $100 for a sheet of plywood. You know, when plywood used to be like $20, now it's like $100 and however much that people are paying. Locally, I think they're $60 to $70 here, unless that's going up. But people are paying over $100, so people are now doing steel for stuff, steel studs instead of wood studs, whatever. Well, steel pricing's going up. So my uncle or my cousin who works with my uncle, I messaged him about steel, and he's like, just so you know, steel has shot up, and I can only assume steel's going to keep going up and up in price. So if you're contemplating doing a steel project, buy it now before it goes up even higher. But anyways, guys, thank you so much once again for the super chats and all the members and all the orders off the website tonight. I will see you guys next Friday. And buy some root tabs, 614fish.com. And yeah, so I will see you guys. LRB, I just got the notification. He just went live, so check out LRB. But I'll see you guys. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend. Have a good week. See you next Friday.